Hi everyone. I've been asked a few times now to start creating some videos, so here we go. I just got back from Culebra, Puerto Rico. I was teaching at a retreat there for a good friend of mine, Mary Widener. She's the Lighthouse Medium. You can find her on YouTube if you'd like to hear some of her readings. She does political readings and is transforming into some other things. She also does meditation, so you can take a listen to her. We had a wonderful time. It was an amazing group of women. There was so much transformation and validation, and the island was just amazing and beautiful, and I just can't express enough gratitude for everyone that was there and how much transformation happened, how much everyone learned. I learned so much myself just being around these beautiful, inspiring, and powerful women. So let's get to the cards. I'm reading today from the I Am affirmation deck. This deck was actually created by me. A couple years ago, I was doing a meditation and my guides just started saying, create, create, create. And every meditation I went in, they said, create, create, create. And I thought, what do you want me to create? I'm really not, or don't consider myself that much of an artistic person. So I just thought on it, and I said, why don't I create a deck of cards? I was thinking more like tarot cards or some kind of oracle. But then it came to me to do I am affirmations. You know, in yoga, we often do what's called a sankalpa at the beginning of class, and that's where we just come into a simple affirmation. And I often tell my students, just make a simple I am affirmation, something that is attainable, and wait till it comes to fruition, and then you come into a new one. And these cards are exactly that, just very simple words and affirmations that manifest positivity. So that's what I ended up calling them. I don't know if you can see the writing there or if it's backwards, but it's I am affirmation cards for positivity and manifesting. So we want to just create all kinds of goodness in our life. So the first card that I pulled for today is Adored. And this is perfect for today because we have so many aspects astrologically with Venus around love and communication and sudden unexpected things and healing. And you know, the animal, as you can see, is the dolphin, and that's actually one of my spirit animals. And how much do we adore dolphins, right? And so I thought that was the perfect card for that feeling. But what Spirit wants to impress on us about being adored and adoring others, right, is that we're so lucky to have love in our life. We're blessed to have love. Call it luck, call it blessings. We need to honor those that we love and that love us. Oftentimes we go through life and we're not even showing or expressing any gratitude for how much love that we're receiving from another person. And this isn't just about romantic love. This is parental love, child love, self-love. You know, loving the parts of ourself, loving other people authentically and unconditionally, and expressing gratitude to those that love us in the same way, you know, and just maybe saying today to someone, you know, I'm so appreciative for the way that you love me, and, you know, expressing that love for someone else today. You know, how often do we tell someone that we love them? And we often go a long time maybe not even saying the words or showing it in any way, and it gets pushed under the rug, so to speak. And so we want to bring that to the surface today. That love is a very big impetus for healing all kinds of trauma and wounds, whether it's coming from something that's going on in your life right now, whether it's something from childhood, and whether it's ancestral, because we have a lot of ancestors that are stuck in the realms in between, and it's important to honor them and not let them feel that they're forgotten, that we can maybe light a candle for them or say a prayer for them. Even if you think that they've crossed over, there's a lot that haven't, that might be afraid. And so we want to not forget these people, right? We want to show our gratitude and show our appreciation, show love, and help to heal wounds that have been going on in cycles. And we know that those cycles of trauma are coming to the surface in a lot of different areas in our life and for the collective as a whole. And so we want to heal through love. And that's really the way that this world is going to change. And we're all going to feel love, and we're all going to feel better. And I know that that's like a little Pollyanna, but it's the truth. And I've, struggled through dark times myself, and it has been through love that I've come through into the other side of that healing. And so I'm really passionate about sharing that with others now and helping others to find that healing in their own life. The next card that I pulled is discerning. And if you've worked with me, you know this is a big word in my vocabulary. There's so much information out in the world today that we need to really discern what resonates with us, and when it doesn't, we need to just let it go. So for this card, I picked a cow looking over a mountain, and I just imagine this cow has heard and seen so much information, and now it's taking it into heart to say, okay, is this what resonates with me? And we need to do that every day. Whether it's reading about different healing arts, there's a lot of people awakening and coming into all kinds of esoteric knowledge that's available now in the collective that hasn't been in the past. And some of that is really useful, and some of it is not useful at all. And it actually can hinder your growth and hinder your healing and hinder your awakening process. So there's a lot of misinformation surrounding some different techniques and ideas in the healing world and in the esoteric knowledge that, like I said, is now available to us. So it's really important to be able to discern what is resonating with your vibration or your frequency. Anything that's bringing you down, that is causing any kind of fear. Uncertainty is also a lower vibration. Anxiety is a lower vibration. So we need to discern what are we bringing in that is nourishing our spirit, that is bringing those lower vibrations in. It's important to be aware of not only what you're eating, but what you're listening to, what you're feeding your souls, what we're watching on movies or listening to on the radio or on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, all these different mediums. We're really exposed to a lot of different information and a lot of different vibrations. And not all of them are the healthiest for your spiritual journey. And so we need to decide what we want to nourish our soul with. And that's going to make a big difference. The more positive that you're feeding yourself, the more positive you're going to feel, and the better you're going to feel, and the quicker that healing is coming. So this can be also states of mind. So mindset is a big play here, right? We don't want to be stuck in trauma. We don't want to be stuck in past memories, and we don't want to be stuck in victim mentality. We want to find the fullest expression of ourselves, the most healed expression of ourselves. So just looking at the astrology for today, I typically look to see what's between 0 and 2 degrees, and that is the most powerful impact on what is going on that day. And the sun and the stars and the moon and the planets and even asteroids, and that's one that is affecting us today. We have Chiron, which is the wounded healer. And if you want to learn more about Chiron, you can read a little bit about Chiron in my February astrology forecast that's available on my website. And We know that Chiron was abandoned and at birth. He was a centaur, and his mother was just appalled at the very sight of him and gave him up immediately. And that created a deep wound in Chiron, and he went on to find a mentor and got into a lot of different positive healing kind of arts. He studied herbs and different plants for medicine. He took up archery. He was a gymnast. So those are just a few of the different ideas, right? So in our time, it could be yoga, it could be meditation, it could be essential oils. All these are really positive mediums. Hypnotherapy, Reiki, and that's a lot of what's coming in right now, is that we need to be focused on these kinds of healing aspects. We don't need to, work in different ways that are bringing anything negative or that we're unsure about. So a lot of people will be working with, for example, going into the Akashic records. Well, there's a lot of positive and negative in the Akashic records. So, unless you're very well versed and you have a very good set of boundaries around you, I don't suggest that for anyone that is just beginning to work with anything in the esoteric world, because there are negative forces there. And if you're not adept at working on that level, it can create some havoc in your life. And you'll notice as you're working with healing mediums, when it does have a backlash, sometimes even positive mediums can have a backlash. That's again coming back into that discernment, because when we start to work in the deeper parts of ourselves and that deep well, some of it is dark and scary. And so we need to use discernment to say, okay, this is a passing through of something that's within me, but we don't want to take anything else on. Like, we have enough dark within our own selves than going into the Akashic records and dealing with, some type of weird entity or something that's dark in there and bringing that into our world. But I digress. So going back into Chiron is at 0 degrees in Aries today. And Aries is explosive. Aries is fire. Aries is determination. So you might feel like, I'm ready to really get to the crux of the matter here in this healing that I need to do for myself. With Chiron, we're talking about that deep lake again. We're going into those old wounds. It could be wounds from childhood. It could be old beliefs and patterns and thoughts and ideas or self-talk. It can also be that ancestral wound, for the ones that have passed over, that we're healing things that we are only aware of on the surface. There's so much underneath of the surface that we're actually working with as well. It's on so many levels. And so watching today to see whatever is coming up for you, whether it's something from childhood, whether it's a memory or a person, you might find that you draw someone into your life suddenly today, because there's a strong aspect there with Venus. So it could be a partnership, friendship, romantic, any kind of way that this person could just show up in your life. And we need to discern, like, is this person here for my healing? Are they going to be nourishment to my soul? Or am I repeating patterns that I've been doing for a long time? It's kind of like that old mindset where we keep dating the same kind of person over and over and over again, but you're just getting the same result. So if that's happening for you, it's a wake up. It's time. Like, this person reminds me of that person. Okay, no. Using discernment. But if it's this person is something I've been dreaming about, I've never expected to come into my life, and here it is in front of me, and what a blessing, go for it. That's the person that's going to help you heal. And it's through that connection of love. We've always heard it takes two, to be in spirit. It takes two to heal. And we're not here to do all this work on our own. We definitely need each other, and we need to validate and love each other. And that's what's really going to bring that healing for all of us and for the collective, because as we heal, we begin to heal others. And so that's so important right now. I believe that we're in the age of Aquarius and that it's here. I believe that the end of, the age of Pisces was December 21st, 2012. at the end of the Mayan calendar. To me, it's like, who else knows time better than the Mayans? I mean, they said it's the end of times, and it is. And I believe that, you know, it's here. And that's why there's so many people awakening, and we're really responsible for the collective now, and we get that. You know, it's about, yes, individual is a big part of it because we're ultimately responsible for our own healing. But through our own healing, we're able to heal others. And that's the biggest blessing, is when we can step out and say, you know, I've done this and now I can do this for you. And that's a big part of my journey. You know, all the tools that I used to, you know, in my own healing, you know, to work with others and healing myself. It's not, you know, things that I've done on my own. It's that I've done through Spirit, and Spirit has brought some wonderful teachers and, you know, healers into my life that have guided me. And now I'm here to give back to the collective and share what I've learned along the way. And, you know, it's a beautiful feeling to come through it. We all go through these dark, you know, times, the dark night of the soul. I've been through it 4 or 5 times. And so I'm pretty well versed at this point to tell you that if you are going through it, you will come through it. There is a light at the other side. And for those of you that have been through it, you know, you are the beacon on the other side. So we need to shine the light for others, for them to come through it as well.